those people were right. We are not our ancestors. Our ancestors
Not
had
just in the way that they meant
backbone.
it. You're right.
Our ancestors had backbone. When our ancestors saw the Republican Party was not treating them right, they said, "Oh hell no," and they started voting Democrat. When our ancestors got off the plantation, they started running for office right away to do things for their people. Y'all are not. We are not our ancestors. Because if we were our ancestors right now,
an ADOS dude, there was an ADOS dude named Bill something, Bill the Icon.
Bring up all the dirty laundry. Absolutely. I think a lot of our people are, it's plain old fear. We're afraid of everything. You know what I mean?
Hold on. May I say something about that? I'm sorry. That's the problem. You remember that shirt we used? Remember that disrespectful shirt people used to wear saying we are not our ancestors? I hated that. But you know what? We need to bring that shirt back.
What does that mean? I never did.
I know that. No, it means that they're trying to say that our ancestors let white people push around and do that. It's not the case at all. But that used to be so disrespectful to me. But now I realize something. Those people were right. We are not our ancestors. Our ancestors
not
had
just in the way that they meant it. You're right.
Our ancestors had backbone. When our ancestors saw the Republican Party was not treating them right, they said, "Oh hell no," and they started voting Democrat. When our ancestors got off the plantation, they started running for office right away to do things for their people. Y'all are not. We are not our ancestors. Because if we were our ancestors right now, we would be saying, "Okay, I'm running for office. I don't care if our ancestors couldn't even read. They couldn't even read. And they ran for office and got elected to U.S. Congress. And they stood up for Black Americans. Robert Small said in a time when Black Americans were getting lynched and whole towns were being burnt down that were fully Black, Robert Small said to the U.S. Congress, is one of my favorite quotes, "The Negro is here to stay forever. So it is to the white man's good that the Negro gets everything he's owed." That's what Robert Small said in the 1860s. He couldn't even read. His first language was not even English. It was Gullah. He spoke Sea Island Creole, the language that the Black Americans, my people here, we speak here in the Low Country. And yet, that's what he did. Y'all, we are not our ancestors. Our ancestors would have been running for office right now, not sitting back, throwing out ideas like we're so smart, instead of running for office to put those ideas into actions. So we are not our ancestors. That shirt is absolutely right. We don't even have a modicum of the backbone our ancestors had. Right now, we are embarrassing our ancestors. Sitting back, letting our country get invaded. Sitting back, watching our babies getting aborted. And all some of y'all do is sit on the internet and throw out ideas and talk about what people should be doing. How about you do what you say those people should be doing? Our ancestors would have done it by now.
And you've got to get to a place where you're more afraid of your extinction than you are to weaponize your vote and socialize your suffering. When you get to that place, you become fearless. When you think about what you're leaving to your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and so on and so forth, when you don't do as Marcel says to run for office, or you don't go to the tables like Asun Powell and many of my other comrades who are sitting down and having conversations with the opposite side. When you fail to do that, know that you are failing your entire lineage. And I'm not here to shame you. I just want to inform you that when you don't go out here and invoke a strategy that can actually help us in terms of our capacity to not just run for office, but to actually win, then you are contributing to our extinction. We will be as few in number as the Indians if we don't get out here and invoke a real strategy for our flourishing. Because I've already given you a couple of examples of how these immigrants are taking over office from the school board all the way up through the feds. And when we don't push back and we don't reach across this aisle to a Republican party that's crippled right now because of the rhinos and MAGA fight, okay, if we don't align ourselves with poor whites, akin to what we did before they made race a racial construct and taught poor white people that they were better because of their skin color, because even they are hurting now, then you will be complicit in our extinction. So if you can live with that and rest with that, have at it. But as for me, I cannot wait to close these borders and get a party in place that will prayerfully throw out every illegal. And I'm going to be sitting, I don't have 3 weeks to sit at a table, but I intend to reach across this aisle and talk to the Republicans here in the state of California and see what we can do together to get this out of here and to change the course of this Titanic. Thank you. I'll land there.
Well, I think Angela touched on it, though. I mean, because we brought up fear earlier. I think that's a factor, but I think more than anything, it's just apathy. I don't think most Americans understand what's coming down the pike, but especially Black Americans. I don't think that we really think that the situation is that serious. We may see the problems on TV and elsewhere, but we don't see how this stuff is affecting us. We think that, it's not as bad as it really is or really could be. Immigration is just one issue. Immigration is just one way that they're attacking the Black population, but there are others too. And I think a lot of that apathy, some of it just comes from wanting to keep your head in the sand, but others is just people who just genuinely don't know. A lot of them don't. We're ignorant to a lot of what's going on in this country at the local, state, and federal level. So we think that things are just on an even keel. I mean, maybe some are mad about Trump, but as far as what's actually going on, I don't think most people know about it, which is contributing to that apathy. So breaking through that apathy, I think one of the things that needs to happen is a lot of this stuff needs to get exposed. Like what you're doing on your channel, this is great. We need more of this so that people know what's happening in our country.